And I would like to officially announce the start of the already fourth season of our beautiful English dinners. And yeah. Well, if you don't know me, I will tell you a few things about who Katyona is. We usually have a plan, and I will stick on this plan. Well, my name is Katyona. You can see it here. My occupation, like I do a lot of things. I teach English, I organize language events for people so they can practice their languages. I do a little bit of social media marketing. I help people in general. Yeah. My hobbies, I have a lot of hobbies, like traveling on the first place, then like marketing. Then sports like snowboarding, wakeboarding, my recent discovery. Then I like languages. I like life. That's my main hobby. And yeah, have you ever visited the English dinner before? Yeah, I'm the one who started all of them, and I'm so much happy that this idea appeared in my head one day. Yeah. And thank you all for joining us and enjoying the event. It just makes me feel needed. And phobia, spiders, insects, I hate all of them. And I used to be afraid of water, but I'm getting rid of it. And I'm kind of afraid of heights. I think I am still afraid of heights, but I'm not sure. I need to double check it. So yeah, thank you very much. That's me. And today I would like to officially announce our new moderator for this season. This is Nikola.
Nice to meet you guys.
Can you tell us a few things about yourself?
So first, my name is Nikola Ryskova, and I'm from Slovakia. And occupation, I'm a student. I'm studying at the Faculty of Law in Slovakia, in my city, but currently I'm studying here in Omsk at the Faculty of Law at the Omsk Dostoevsky Omsk State University. Then my hobbies. So my biggest hobby is traveling, I guess. I love to travel through the world. And then I also love dancing. I'm dancing salsa I've been dancing salsa for like 2 or 3 years already. And I'm also dancing here in Omsk because it's so popular over here. And then so I love listening music, reading books, meeting my friends, hanging out, and so on. Have you ever visited the English dinner before? Actually, no. This is my first time here, and I'm so excited I can be here with you guys. So hopefully we will enjoy it together. And then the last one, phobia. Actually, maybe I'm afraid of snakes, but that's probably all. Or maybe the same as Katya, I'm afraid of heights, but I'm very crazy, so I'm afraid of heights, but I did parachuting, bungee jumping, all this crazy stuff, but I'm still a bit afraid. Okay, so alright, thank you very much.
My occupation, I'm an office worker. It's not very interesting job, so hobbies. I can say that I have some hobbies at the moment. I used to like go to the rock concerts.
Hello, my name is Daria. My occupation is office specialist too, but for me it's very interesting. And my hobby is snowboarding now.
Nice to meet you too.
My occupation. Now I'm stay-at-home mom.
My daughter is 19 months old. Before my stay-at-home mom, I have worked in HR department.
I'm just a student from my hobbies are snowboarding.
And wakeboarding now.
Yeah. What else? Drawing. I have ended the art school. What else? Probably cooking, reading, or English.
Yeah.
Yes, I have visited English dinner before. It's my third season. My hobby is actually I don't know what is my phobia because probably I don't have any.
I'm reading books. At the moment, I'm reading some non-fiction about how our brain works. And also, I landed music school, so I can play the piano, and sometimes I do it. Actually, this is my first time when I visited the English dinner, but I'm really excited.
Still mathematician in my soul. My hobbies is maybe it's dancing, but I'm not a good dancer, but I have progress in this field. It's my first visit to English dinner, but I know Tatiana and usually make events absolutely amazing.
Absolutely amazing. All right.
Hobby, I have one,
I
but
really like make different cocktails from alcohol.
All right.
It's really interesting from something components. Natural components. It's really nice and tasty. Sorry, it's like adventures advertisement. Occupation.
I have two beautiful daughters, and my life is for them, and I like them very much about occupation. In my past life, I was an analytic in Hypermarket Atlanta.
I'm a student and I'm studying in Medical State University. I will be a pediatric, I think. I don't know.
Pediatrician, yeah.
Pediatrician. My hobby, I think, is science, and I like language. Now I learn German and English, I think.
And what hobbies? A lot of them. No. Okay. I have visited English dinner once before, but unfortunately, I know about these events only about a year, because I would like to visit every English dinner, but I can't do it now because they have in a past. Yes. So, but phobias. I think like hobbies I got a lot, but very small. So some special. I just in this summer I just get to know that I have a phobia of big stones underwater. I don't know why. They just frighten me a lot. And also I'm afraid of darkness, so that's why I'm afraid going home today from this dinner. But still, I'll do it. And maybe I'm afraid of big insects. Not small, just big one. That's all.
All right.
Now I'm working as an engineer. My job is designing automation system for electrical power industry.
All right.
Actually, it's not as hard as it sounds.
You here, and thank you very much for coming. And I also want to thank you, Katja, that I can be here actually with you. And so basically today's topic is English as a tool. And what I have to say at the beginning is that English is a way to many things. For example, that I can stay here and talk to you right now. Even you are from Russia and you are speaking Russian. Even I'm from Slovakia and I'm speaking by Slovak language, but we can be friends, we can speak together, and just because of the English. One of the most important and most used language in the world. So,
Hold on.
okay, so on the first picture I just said English language is a way, as we already said before, to travel. Traveling is the best thing in the world, and without English it's much harder to travel. For example, I can say you one experience which I got from this year, because this summer I visited USA with my sister and with my mother. And my sister can speak English, but my mother cannot at all. So I cannot imagine my mom going to USA. Even she always dreamed about it. She always wanted to go, but she doesn't speak English. She would be so lost. I don't know if it was possible for her, and if she went, I guess she will have a lot of troubles. But since I was there and I could speak English, I helped her with everything, and we enjoyed the trip so much. Solve your problem faster. As Katja said at the beginning, for example, at the airport, if you go, right, if you have some problem with baggage or anything, and imagine you don't speak English, it would take so long time to solve all kind of problems. But if you speak English, you can go to Spain, you can go to Slovakia, you can go to Asia, wherever. But at the airport, there will always be a person who will understand you in English. But if you don't speak English, you would be so lost. Maybe you would solve this problem, but how long would it take? You would have to translate, maybe call back home to your friend or family member. Can you help me? Can you translate? But if you speak English, you are so free and you can do everything by yourself. And of course, save your time as well. Working opportunities and study. We will get to these two topics in another slide, so we will go through it deeper later. Getting to know new culture and people. That's also the best part of the traveling, because you are meeting new people, new interesting people, as for example I'm meeting you right now, and then also getting to know new culture. Because each state, each country has got different traditions, different culture, maybe which you don't even know, or maybe you think the traditions or culture in Asia is bad, I don't like it. But once you go there and you understand why people do it like this, and what's the historical background of this culture and tradition, then maybe you will like it more, or you will understand why people do it like that. But you will never ever be able to understand it or to know how it is if you don't know how to speak with the people, if you don't know how to ask them. Because if you don't speak English, or let's say, for example, if you go to Asia, the Russian language will not help you, of course. If we want to know the local people, with Russian or with Slovak, we cannot do anything. But with English, we can meet people there, we can speak with local people, understand their culture and everything. So save your time, that's we already said. Or also, by saving your time, we can look at the videos or music or books in English. Because there is a lot of, for example, movies. There is a lot of good movies or songs which are always in English, and we have to wait so long until they translate them or they make subtitles for them. But if we speak English, we can watch it or listen it or whatever very easily and very fast. So we can also save time by this way. And improve your memory. Of course, if we study new words, new phrases, new sentences, we also improve our memory. And then, so it's always good in any age. So here I posted the most used English words. There is just 100 words, which I'm sure all of you know. It just came interesting to me to see which words are the most used. I'm sure you all know these words and use it so much, but it's just interesting to me. So here it all started. So the reason why I'm here and I can speak with you in English is that I was studying in the United States of America. When I was 17, I went there and I spent there 12 months in the host family. And so this is actually a picture from the airport when they welcomed me. And so that was the best year of maybe my life. And I learned English, what is the best thing, or what I could do when I was so young, you know. Okay, traveling. So, as I said at the beginning, the traveling is the best thing, and then if we speak English, we can basically travel anywhere. We don't have to be afraid to go to Asia, to Europe, to Africa, because there will be always people who can speak to us. And if we speak English, we've got the courage. We are not afraid to go. For example, I can speak English. I'm not afraid to go alone anywhere. I don't need to go with friends. I don't need to ask people, like, do you want to go with me, and looking for anybody. Since I can speak English, I've got courage. I can go basically anywhere without any problems. I'm not afraid. As I said at the beginning, like my mom, she likes to travel, but she doesn't speak English, so she is so afraid. She doesn't have courage. If she wants to go somewhere, she always asks me, Nikola, go with me, join me, help me, because she just doesn't want to go alone. She's afraid. Ticket. If you want to buy ticket, obviously you probably know that all the best sites and the cheapest are the one in English. So another thing, like if you want to buy just the ticket to start your traveling somewhere, the first step is to buy the flying ticket, and that's usually in English. Visa, maybe for you, if you, for example, I've been in USA already 3 times, and if we are traveling from Europe to USA, we need to get a visa online. We don't have to go to embassy or anywhere, we can just get it online. But the thing is, everything is in English. They don't say it in Slovak or Czech, which we understand, but just in English. So if you don't know English, you cannot get visa, or you always have to ask somebody for help, your friends or whoever. You can also translate it, but believe me, it's not so easy. It's so long, and there are such a lot of important things. So if you just translate it by internet, it's not right, or it would take you so long time, and plus you would be so afraid. Did I feel it right, and did I understand everything through the translator? So at least for us, the getting visa to many countries, it's a big issue, and we have to speak English if we want to get them. Or for example, before I went to USA, I needed to get my study visa, so I went to the embassy to get them. But they were speaking to me just in English. Even it's in Slovakia, the embassy, but they didn't speak Slovak at all, and they kept to asking me questions just in English. If I didn't know English, maybe I didn't have visa, accommodation, or airport, and yeah. So that's I already said. Wherever you go, doesn't matter which country, there will be always people speaking English in the airport. You will never be lost if you speak English. And then airplane, it's the funny thing. Like I can say you before I came here to Omsk, I was flying from Vienna to Moscow and from Moscow to Omsk. Actually, the steward couldn't speak English. And there was a problem, because I was flying from Moscow to Omsk, and then suddenly we were landing in Oms, but I don't know why the airplane took off right away. And then I knew that there is some problem, like what's wrong, you know? So I tried to ask stewards, like, what's going on, you know, in English. And she was like, I don't speak English. She could speak just Russian. And the problem went on because I didn't know what's going on. I was so afraid she couldn't explain me. And then so I was so surprised that they don't need to speak English. But you see, right now, like, that was weird situation also for her because she really wanted to say me what's going on and what is wrong, but she couldn't because she didn't speak English. And then so we got the situation when we couldn't understand each other. And then so well, from this point of view, it was more her problem than me. But you see, like, she didn't speak English, I spoke, but we couldn't. I didn't know. Like, whole hour we were flying away, and I had no idea where I'm going. Why is this? And at the end, we landed in Nizhny Vartovsky. Yeah. And so until now, I don't know why it was like this because nobody could save me, right? Because not most Russian people speak English. And so my neighbors were all Russians and they didn't speak English too. So basically, you know, no information for me. Accommodation. That's an interesting thing because if you travel, nowadays there is such a lot of options for accommodation. Not just hotel, which we of course use the most, but there is a lot of options like couchsurfing or Airbnb, if you ever heard it. And then so, but usually if you want to book this accommodation, you always have to do it in English because, of course, when you stay in Russia, no. But if you go out of the Russia, the only one language how you can speak is English. And then also you can read I forgot the word. You know. Yeah, that's another thing. For example, like me, I'm studying here in Russia. I'm not at home, so there is no mom for me to cook. There is nobody to do laundry for me. There is nobody to go to supermarket as well. So I have to do everything by myself. And suddenly I realized, oh my goodness, to buy all the food for a month is so expensive. It's not so cheap as I always thought, you know? Because once I live by myself, I can see how it is to cook every day, to buy everything for cooking. Then, you know, just to manage my money. And of course, since I'm a student, I'm not making any money. I've got just some budget for a month. And I cannot overcome this budget because, you know, there is no salary for me each month. There is just scholarship or what my parents help me, but that's all. So basically, I know that I've got some amount of money and I always have to just, you know, fit into this budget. I cannot overcome it because I will be hungry. So discover yourself. That's another thing. Sometimes if you are so away from your friends, from your family, and you are basically in some big town or alone, you will discover yourself. You can see that you can do many things which you thought you can never do it. You are not able to do it. But since you are here alone, you cannot call to your mom or to your father or to your best friend or anybody, come and help me or do this for me. You are for everything alone, and you will discover in yourself such a lot of things you never knew about yourself. International friends. Of course, if you are studying abroad, you will have such a lot of friends from all the countries in the world. And it's always so cool if some of your friends call you, oh, come over to visit me, I'm living here and here. And for example, I have a friend in Bangkok, and that's the reason why I went to Thailand, because she invited me to Bangkok. So I went there, I stayed in her apartment, we had such a lot of fun together, and then I went to Krabi, and then so maybe I would never go if she didn't invite me. But they just, you know, friends all over the world, and I already visited such many countries just because of my international friends. I met with my friends in USA, in Italy, in Austria. This year I am meeting my friends in my capital city, in Bratislava, and we will celebrate New Year together. But that's a group of very international people. There will be people from Italy, from Austria, from Germany, from Slovakia, from Poland. There will be a lot of people, and then I'll be the only one Slovak person.
Yeah, that's
Just because I've got such a lot of friends from all the countries, and it's so cool. Who can say that I've been celebrating New Year with a group of 10 people, and each one was from different countries? You know, it's so interesting, and it's just because of I was traveling abroad and then studying abroad as well. And more advantages, new knowledge and experience, improve second language skill. That is very important, because whenever you are studying in some country where English is not the main, you will also learn another language, because always you will learn the language of the country where you are living. It happened to me I was also studying in Norway, and then it happened to me because there was such a lot of people from Mexico and Spain, so I decided this is the great opportunity for me to study Spanish. So I just started, and now I can speak a little bit Spanish. Even I was in Norway, and of course if I wanted, I could also learn Norwegian language, but I said Norwegian, there is no point for me to learn Norwegian language. I don't want to live in this country, and that's not very common language, so it wouldn't really help me in my life. But Spanish, it's so beautiful language, and since I told you before, I love to dance, so I listen just the Spanish music, or basically the music where they are singing in Spanish language. So it was also my dream, which I kind of fulfilled just because I was studying abroad and I had the opportunity. And then become more independent. Of course, that's what I told you. If you are alone in a big city, another country, there's nobody around you, you will be super independent. Well, of course, which I am very independent right now, what I can say. And it brings me sometimes a weird situation, because back home in Slovakia, I go for shopping, for clothes by myself, I travel by myself, I go for hiking by myself, and people ask me, are you crazy? You don't have friends? And why do you go by yourself? And I'm like, no, I have too much friends. That's the reason why I want to go alone sometimes. But you are not afraid to go, at least me, because I was already traveling there, studying. So I had been in many situations when I had to be so independent, you know, because there was nobody to help me, to hang out with me, or, you know, talk with me in the beginning and so on. So I learned how to be independent. And of course, studying abroad always is good for your future, because if you speak at least English or more languages, you will always find better job, and of course better paying job, and you can also a lot of opportunities for more jobs. This is just a picture which I found on the internet, what usually employers think. Like 64% of employers think that international experience is important for recruitment. It's always helpful. There is never nothing bad about learning new language and getting new experience. Okay, this is my second study abroad. It's in Norway. I was studying in Bergen for a half year, and then so again I got there just because of the English, because there were courses in English, and so if I couldn't speak English, I would never see this beautiful aurora borealis. Basically, this is amazing what you can see, and then many people are dreaming about seeing it. And for me, it was totally normal, like sun, because it was there every day. you know. Of course, first time it was like, wow, oh my goodness, I was taking thousand and thousand pictures. Second time, again, third time, yeah, but then when it was like 10 times, I was like, oh, okay, this is in Norway as well. This is actually the city where I was studying. It's Bergen, this as well. And then this place is called Preikestolen. That's maybe like 2 or 3 hours away. It's not Bergen. And it's so hard to learn some language if you are not living in that country. Or let's say, for example, you can learn English by traveling, but I can really learn Russian by traveling. So I had to come here. I was like, Nikola, if you really want to be fluent in Russian and if you really want to speak, go to that country. Yeah. It will be so hard from the beginning, like it is right now, but you will make it, you will do it. And that's the best way. From the beginning, it's always hard. You don't understand, people are talking to you, you have no clue what they want, but you just say, yes, okay, but you know, then they ask you something and you're like, what? But in some months it will be just better and better, and at the end I will be able to speak. So it's not just with English, with all languages. Find an English native boyfriend or girlfriend, yeah, that's the best thing, which I don't do, but you can do it. For example, my neighbor here in Russia, in the dormitory, he came here and then so like first week he found a Russian girlfriend. And so seriously, yeah, he was so fast. And now, you know, they meet every day and he practices every day with her and they call all the time and text. So he's improving his Russian so fast. And then look for a job, of course, where they speak English. Find a group of English native friends in your city, like we are doing right now. Yeah, right. And then so look for an English native virtual friend. Yeah, so that's always a good way. If you don't have any friend here who can speak English, or sometimes I know that people know English a bit, but they are so afraid to speak. Not afraid, they are ashamed to speak. Like, oh no, I cannot speak English, I will not, you know. Just don't ask me anything, please, in front of other people, because people are just so ashamed. And I understand it, because I was also learning English, and now I'm learning Russian. So I know how it is when people are talking to you, and you are like, I have no idea what you want, you know. So, but maybe it's very helpful if you speak with some friend, or with some person you actually don't know. It's just your friend through the Skype or Facebook or contact or whatever. Because sometimes you are less ashamed in front of some person which you don't know than in front of a person you know actually, or your friend. Okay, so that's basically all from me. Thank you very much for your attention. I really hope you enjoyed it and it was interesting to you and you liked it. So if you have any questions, just ask me. I'll be happy to answer you.
I have, for example, with English language, because other people don't speak it. So I heard about difficulties in speaking in Asian countries. For example, Vietnam. They can't speak English. Nobody can speak English in Vietnam. So, do you think we should learn some new language, or they should learn English?
They should definitely learn English. Yeah.
How can we use English language if we go to countries where they don't use it?
Well, okay, so that's bad example, let's say, but in most of the countries where you go, usually people can speak English, or at least a bit, or they are trying to speak English. Like as I've been to many countries, and usually I spoke everywhere in English, and I didn't have any problems. But also when I've been to Thailand or to Asian countries, but I never been to Vietnam, to be honest, so I can't really say about this. But in most of the countries in the world, you can speak without any problem if you know English. Yeah.
So can I say about this problem? I was in not in Vietnam we don't find anybody who speaks English, but we have the same situation in China. They don't want to speak English at all, and we lost ourselves. We lost. So we understand that we don't know where we are and what we should do now. And it was like, hello, somebody, did somebody speak English?
Like crazy people, yeah.
Yeah, and we find two Chinese guys who know English and who explain us where we are and what we should do now. And they find the taxi for us, and we go together with them to the place we was going to go, because we heard that it's a good idea, we want to visit this place too.
Yeah, actually, I already heard the story about this. Some people went to China and they were traveling by buses and trains, and then so they always knew how to go just by remembering one sign of their letters, because just one sign. So they remember just one sign, which were their final stop, where they always have to get out, and then so that was because they also don't really probably speak English. So in some countries, of course, it would be hard, but in most of them, if you speak English, you won't have any problems. Yeah. Or for example, I have a funny story. My dad was in Thailand a few years ago, and he got lost. He doesn't speak English at all, and unfortunately he didn't have his phone with him. And so now imagine, he was going home from the beach, but he got lost. He didn't know where he is. He doesn't speak English, he didn't have phone. I don't know if he's got any money, but anyway, he was walking through the Bangkok 24 hours.
No.
Yeah, seriously. He didn't know what to do. So then he found the police, and then he tried to explain what happened, but without no English, it was so hard. So what happened in the middle of the night? Just somebody was calling to us from Thailand, like saying to me what's wrong with my dad. And then so I had to, it was just so complicated story, but it took like 30 hours to him to get back to hotel. Yeah, just because he doesn't speak English, single word, he didn't know how to ask, and the worst thing, he didn't even remember name of the hotel, you know. That was the funniest thing, right? And so, yeah, without knowing language, it could be very hard sometimes.
Oh my God.
But to ask a beer, he always know how to do it.
Alright, who's next?
So different, because English, okay, even it's the very important language, almost all the people can speak at least little bit English, but Russian is so interesting and different language, you know. That's not so common language, like all of my friends could speak Russian. And the good thing for me is also there is a lot of companies, Russian companies in Europe, and also in my country, in Slovakia, and a lot of businessmen from Russian. And then so there is not a lot of people who can speak Russian. So it will be very good for me if I will look for a job.
Another opportunity.
Yeah, more opportunities, of course.
How long time will you be in Oslo?
I will be here a year, but I will go home for Christmas holidays, and then I will spend at home whole January, just because I'm having exams back home. I have to do exams here and there as well, unfortunately. So I have to go home to pass all my exams, and then I'll come back. Yeah, just because I think that in half year I cannot learn Russian fluently. Maybe in a half year I will understand everything, but you know, speaking is always the hardest part. So I think that in a year I can be fluent, or I will not have difficulties with Russian, but just in half year I don't think it's possible. I just know it from English, you know. When I went to the US, I know. My favorite place is Mayakovsky. Mayakovsky Church, I mean.
Yeah. I know why.
It's just so cool building, because in Europe we don't have something like this. Oh, we've got different kind of architecture. But Makovsky, just so amazing to me. I don't know.
I thought it would be like, that's the only landmark that I can recognize going by one.
That's kind of a familiar idea. But no, and actually Leningrad Street, of course, that's a very beautiful street. It reminds me more of Europe than Russia. But also my dormitory, because there is a lot of cool people and we are just having fun together, so maybe there were some more places, just hard for me to think so fast. And this place as well, because of the English dinners.
Alright.
Did you try solo Russian movie? What Russian?
Well, not movie, but I am watching short videos or some fairy tales, just because, you know, I need to listen a lot to Russian if I want to speak or if I want to understand. So yeah, I'm listening a Russian radio and I'm watching short like 10-15 minutes videos, or sometimes I watch news online. So, but I never saw a movie like the full one. But I want to go to cinema sometimes for sure. Even my friends are asking me, so why do you want to go to cinema? You will not understand. Yeah, because I want to, you know, learn how to understand. So I just have to start to go to cinema.
And get stressed.
Yeah. But next week I'm going to theater. So.
Alright.
And have you watched some maybe Soviet movies in English? Or just Russian movies in English?
In English, no, but in Slovak language, because there is a lot of movies, like Russian movies, in Slovak language. Mm-hmm.
So do you like it?
Oh yes, yes, yes. And for example, that cartoon fairy tale, Pagadi. It's very famous in Slovakia. All the small kids know it, and we watch it, and so
like
yeah.
Tom and Jerry.
Yeah, exactly.
Not Russian.
There is another movie. It's also Russian movie, but in Slovak language we call it Mrazik. I have no idea, but it's about it's like obligatory to watch it every Christmas. There is one girl, her name is Nastya, and
Morozko.
So this is also a Russian movie which we have to see each Christmas. It's like typical Christmas movie, and Slovak people just love it so much.
We have a couple of movies like that.
A lot.
And I think if I think more, I guess I would find out more movies which I know, but
you will.
They just came to my mind.
Anyone?
Could you tell how you are studying in Russia if you don't know Russian language?
Yeah, that's the funny thing. I'm studying in Russian. No English at all. All my classes are in Russian. My professors are speaking to me in Russian, but actually I can understand a bit. You know, it's not so bad with me. I can also speak in Russian. Like if I hang out with my friends, we don't speak English. We speak just in Russian. Because I'm learning a lot by myself. I also have a Russian teacher here, but Slovak and Russian language are not so completely different like English and Russian. So, you know, even without studying, we can understand a bit. If you go to Slovakia right now with not knowledges of Slovak language, you could very hardly, but you could speak with Slovak people. It's not so different. If you speak very slowly and you're very careful, then you can figure it out at least what people are talking about. So
Yes.
yeah. Sometimes I feel like, oh, my Russian is so good, I understand. And then you know, sometimes there are some time like I'm listening like, is this Russian or they are speaking Chinese or what is this? You know, yeah. And especially if I meet people and I'm saying them, I don't speak Russian very well, just please speak very slowly, and they're like, exactly, this is what I wanted.
You tried it on Russian language in Slovakia or not?
No, never. I started here. I know I should before, but actually I knew that I'm coming to Russia maybe 4 or 5 months before I came. The problem was I had a finals in Slovakia, final exams for my bachelor degree, which are the finals for master and bachelor in Slovakia are very hard. So I studied for them like 2 months. So I didn't have energy or mood for studying something else beside law for my finals. And then there was a summer. And I said myself, I'll study a lot, but actually I didn't study anything. You can guess why. I was just like, tomorrow, oh no, from Monday, for sure. Then I went away again, then I spent 3 weeks in US, then I don't know where I was, but yeah, I was just pushing it in front of myself, like I started tomorrow, but it never started. Then I got to Russia, and you already know my story from the airplane. So, no, I studied completely here in Russia.
And but next question, how do you choose the future country? You just like open the map and
actually, even I've been to such many places, I know where I wouldn't like to live. For example, USA, I would never like to live there. Or in Russia. I like Russia, but I think that the life in Europe is better. So I don't want to work here, let's say, or stay here for all my life. But in Europe, I basically don't care. Well, or there are some countries where I would never like to move, or in my mind I have like 2 or 3 my favorite countries.
For example?
Norway, of course, Switzerland, and then Austria, So I would move there without any problem. So after school, if I start to look for a job, I will first look in Slovakia, of course. And if it doesn't work, then Norway and Switzerland or Denmark, because the life in this country is just so high level and so good.
What about Australia?
Well, I never been there, so I don't know. No, I was never thinking about Australia. And to be honest, it's weird. I don't know why, but Australia doesn't even interest me. I don't even want to go there. Well, I want to go everywhere, but it's not on my list. Like I have to go there. It's my dream. No, I don't know.
And where do you study
State University. Yes.
State University.
One question. What I should have if I want work abroad? What skills I should have?
Well, first language, of course. Language, yeah.
Besides.
And then it depends what you want to do, because you don't have to have any skills, but then you will work in magazine or in supermarket or as a cleaner, So if you want to have a good job, then of course you have to have a degree. You have to study at university, and then working visa. I don't know how it works between Russia and other countries. I know how it works between my country and other countries where I maybe would like to work, but of course the language isn't the most important. And then, the most important is that you want something. And if you really want it, then you can do everything.
Yes. Maybe I should have not only Russian education, but European education.
No, usually they count on it. It's not a big deal. Usually maybe law is very specific, because usually if you study medicine or economic, it's not so different from different countries. But law, I study and I focus on Slovak law, so maybe it could be a bit hard if I wanna go somewhere else. But I'm more specialized in international law, just because I know that I'm that kind of person who like to travel and speak another languages, and maybe in my head is that I will move away from Slovakia, so I try to focus on international law, which I could use in the whole world. But usually there is no problem with, you know, like you study here, I have to study again there. Usually.
There is one problem. You should pass some exams that improve that you are a specialist. That's all.
Yeah, sometimes. But
for example, in Germany, you should, if you go to work in Germany, you should pass some exams or tests. That's all. That's the problem. That's all.
And one final question, guys. One more.
So two.
Alright, two. Yes. Let's be two.
Maybe it's a little bit inappropriate, but
No shit.
what can you say about Russian mentality? Because I'm just kind of interested.
Okay, I'll tell you.
Tell us everything.
I think, from my point of view, what really shocked me when I came here the first, you are so cold people. I mean, people look like they don't like to smile, or I don't know why, but you look just mask. Yeah, surgical mask. Yeah, but this is so true. I'm saying to all my friends, guys, once you get to know them, they are, you know, like us, normal. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I see it. This is the biggest difference because in Europe we smile more. You know, we are so I don't know, but here it's just different. And another thing which is different is that I cannot say we are more polite. It's not in this, but we say thank you much more often than you guys. We say thank you for everything, like bartender, bring me water, thank you, take my water, thank you, open the door, thank you, or for everything. When I came here to Russia, and the first days I was hanging out with people, they told me, why do you always say thank you for everything? I'm like, it's normal for us, you know?
Yeah, right.
It's like a problem. Yeah, or a few days ago I was hanging out with my a Russian friend. We went for a pizza, and then the waitress came. She cleaned our table. I said thank you, and then she brought the menu. I said thank you, and then I asked what I wanted to eat, and I said thank you, and he was like, yeah. He also noticed, like, you said you were so polite. You say thank you so much, but I'm like, that's our, you know, way. If I don't say thank you, and my mom is here, she will be like, how did I bring you up, you know, you are not polite, you should say thank you more often. And then this guy tried to be like me, and he was always like, when the waitress came, thank you. And I was like, what was it, okay, was it good? And now I'm polite, I'm like, yeah. So this is like the biggest difference, what I see. Like, you got a cold mask, and then we are more like, thank you, welcome, please. Thank you.
And one more question.
How many international students are studying with you now at the university?
Zero.
Zero.
Or, well, maybe there are some. So far, what I know, there is nobody studying. Of course, there are people from Kazakhstan and Mongolia, if it's counted like international for you. But they are studying like full 5 years, full degree here. But like the exchange as me, I'm the only one, what I know. And my coordinator didn't even tell me about anybody else. But in a dormitory, there is one guy from USA and me, that's all. Then there are some teachers which came from different countries like Mexico and then Spain or France, but they are teaching here.
Alright guys, thank you very much for your questions. Nikola, thank you very much for
You're very welcome
for the presentation.
Thank you, I could be here.
And guys, we have one final part, which is really cool. I guarantee you're gonna love it. We are going to do the lottery. Yeah. I have such a coupon for a free drink, for a free cup of coffee at this place. It's available tomorrow, and it expires on at the end of the next month. So you'll have like more than a month to enjoy delicious coffee here. And what I want you to do, I'm going to spread pages, like paper pages. And all you need to do is to write your name, and we might have no, I can't remember. And write down your name and your last name. Because we might have several, like, papas. Lenas, yeah, we have actually 2 Lenas at least. Alright guys, can you spread it? Work like that?
People don't be mad at me. Who will not win?
Alright, close your eyes.
Okay.
We just need one piece.
Okay.
Who's lucky one?
Yeah. Can you say it?
Alex.
Alex.
Hey! Alright. Congratulations.
I have never won a lottery.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Sure, no problem.
You're welcome.
Profit.
Alright guys, and I also have one announcement. So first of all, like, second and like 10th of all, I would like to invite you to Sheragash. This season is going to be also the first one when I organize English in Sheragash. So basically what we do, and this season we're gonna have like sport exercises in the morning. Then we go snowboarding or like skiing, and in the evenings we learn English. So that's the project. This year it's going to take place in February, and yeah, you have leaflets. And if you're ever interested to join us, yeah, just contact me and I will provide you with further details. The only thing I need to mention is that all the packages, all the spots, they are limited. And like for now, I have like many inquiries. And if you seriously taking this trip into account, just you need to think fast and let me know, because we are kind of running out of the spots, and yeah, I can guarantee that we're gonna have them until the end of November or beginning of December, so I cannot guarantee that. So seriously, if you ever want to join us, just be quick. And yeah, so I would like to say thank you to all of you for coming. The date of the first English dinner will be announced shortly. All the pictures, all the videos will be uploaded on all our social media. Take yourselves, bring friends, and yeah, thank you all for coming. Bye bye everyone.